One Piece chapter 1156 is here. I love the color spread. I don't usually talk about cover sheets or color spreads, but I just love Rayleigh and Roger and Scopper all there together. And then you have Sanji and Zoro both looking fierce, and Luffy just running, laughing, being himself, with all the crew kind of tucked there with him except for Nami, who for some reason she's like, I'm gonna occupy this space, thanks. No, you won't make me small. Cracks me up because I don't get it. Like, why? It seems so out of place to have Nami, the only crew member. Like, it makes sense to have the future Pirate King and his wings, you know, up with these iconic powerhouses. But like, I feel like Nami was just like, no, I'll be here too. You make everybody else small, that's fine. It won't be me. But she does look fabulous, so, you know, it is what it is. She was having a good day. She knew that she needed to be front and center. Onto the chapter, we get a little bit more Amazon Lily lore with seeing how... opening up with all the lads, you know, with their heart eyes, and the ladies mad at them for not doing enough. And before I even looked down and saw Boa's ship, I was like, oh no, not Boa's ship, the Amazon Lily ship. I was like, oh no, it's time. And I gotta tell you, I love that page turn and seeing Gloriosa, our old lady who was punted out a window on her introduction, or on Boa's introduction. I love seeing her standing there with a JoJo's pose. I mean, I just think it's fun to identify JoJo's poses out in the wild when like a character's being so extra and so over the top that it's like you would fit into JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. It makes me happy, but to see it as Gloriosa's grand appearance of her as a young empress of Amazon Lily, wooing everyone in her path, and her dialogue. I'm so sick and tired of looking like this all the time. If only I could strip away this beauty of mine. I love it because, again, so over the top, like so ridiculous, but then the fact that like right after that she's like, oh, fan mail, of course. Who's that? What's this pile about? Who has more fan mail than me? Like, I love her going from like this, oh, woe is me, this curse of beauty, to, I'm sorry, what was that? Who's getting more attention than I am? And I fully expected, whenever Shaki made her great reveal, I fully expected her to be very humble, very meek, like apologetic, that she's getting more attention than her beautiful, amazing pirate empress. You know, like the leader of the Amazon Lily, she should have that strength and that beauty. And so to have her number 2 person, I think she's number 2, right? Yeah, first mate. To have her first mate, you know, steal her glory and attention and her man, or at least the affections of who she wants to be her man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would think that she would be apologetic, but no, the Roger pirates show up. Gloriosa immediately starts simping, immediately goes into, oh, it's Roger, oh my goodness, and Roger is just like, I don't care about you. Oh, we're here for Shaki and Shaki alone. So could you move, actually? Like, you're kind of obstructing my view. And Shaki just kicks through the door, starts kicking people, telling them I belong to no one. Some of these choices are a bit much, but she just like, she dominates a room. She is so unapologetic about being the one that everyone wants. Like, she's just like, she owns her status as the fairest of them all. I mean, she just walks through the room. She's like, yes, I'll be taking your treasure and your food too, and you, lad. Rayleigh? Oh my goodness, you have men and women alike losing their minds over the beauty and the presence that this woman holds, and she just walks right through like, none of you will have me. And then the one that's like, boy, my crew sure is being embarrassing right now. You know, the one that keeps his cool, the one that's chill, the one that's not losing his mind is the one that she's winking at. And we know we know that these two are in love, or will be in the future. And it's adorable to see their beginnings. Also very understandable, you know, the lore around the Amazon lily women, how everyone just falls all over themselves for them, offers them flowers and gifts, and, you know, loses their minds, passes out in the presence of their beauty. That amount of over-the-top, intense attention 24/7. If there is one man that actually treats you as an equal, you know, like if there's one man that actually treats you as a person and not as like a thing to attain, then it makes sense to me that that's the one that she would be like, yeah, let's talk. His reaction to that is quite funny. Like he was not playing a game, you know, like he was not playing it cool to get her attention. He really just wasn't thinking about her, or at least not like that. And I don't know, the way I read his face is, I wonder if there's a little bit of him that's like, oh no, not Roger's girl. She can't, no. Like, it's a surprise. I don't think he ever expected her to be interested in him, but also he got his girl. Or I guess I should say she got her guy. We got to see the first clash of Garp and Roger. I love that we have all this chaos happening. Roger showing up, trying to get his girl. She's not interested. She's looking at his first mate. Unfortunately, also Gloriosa wants to get her guy. He's not interested. He's looking at his first mate. It's a drama, really. But all of this is going on, and then Garp just rolls up, and he's like, time to smash him. He shows up, and immediately everybody turns their attention. Both Roger and Garp shout, flatten them all! Men whose tales were spread as legends in the great age of pirates first clashed here in their hot-blooded youth. Like, this is their first clash! This is their first clash! Oh, it looks great! We have Roger pulling his sword. We have power emanating from them. Garp absolutely demolishing Roger's face. This is such a minor detail, but I love Roger's coat sleeves. You know, he's wearing it on his shoulders like they do. And his coat sleeves flying back and kind of going in different directions. Like, you can feel the force in the clothing, well, at least in Roger's clothing, of this great clash. The power that's going out in every direction. It's so cool. It's so cool to see these powerhouses fighting for the first time. And like, you already know there's so much history built up to this point where one of them would just roll up and they'd immediately return to okay, we fight. You know, like, no discussion, nothing. It's just immediate, shout each other's names and start. So I know we're in a flashback, and I know we have a lot of ground to cover, and already we've been given so much more than I expected out of this flashback, but also I just wish for more, you know? Like, I want to see these two built up, and I don't know. There's so many characters. There's so many characters of the history of One Piece. And obviously Garp is present time, and we've known for a long time what strength Garp is, right? Like, we've known for a long time how powerful he is. Yet, I don't know, I want to see them in their youth. I want to see these rivalries be built up and play out. It's not the story we're following. I'm just greedy. And I want more. Poor Gloriosa is dying or getting sick. She's unwell with love sickness, I assume, because Roger, unfortunately, didn't want her. And Shaki, she's just like, she takes up the mantle of Empress. Her popularity reaches the heights that no one has seen before. She's doing well for herself. She's about to get the lad of her dreams. But really, the show stealer, I think, is Ida. You know, like, oh my goodness, every panel she has, every chapter she's in, I love her more. Here, we go back to Elbaf. We see that that Loki tried to get away and didn't work out so well. We weren't even sure if we should save him or not, the guy says. And Ida Harold is like, okay, I get that. I know he's a menace, but I appreciate you saving him anyway. And Ida's like, no, absolutely not. Obviously, you're saving the child. Obviously, you're saving the kid. What's wrong with you? Harold's over here saying, listen, it was Loki's decision to leave at sea. Like, he is responsible for his own actions, which you're not wrong about. But also, this kid has been this kid is so traumatized. And Ida gets it, you know, like Ida understands. She's like, so what? If you abandon Loki, I'll drown you 100 times. Oh my goodness, I love her. I love her so much. He lost his mom and his dad is too busy to stay home. Loki's just lonely. That's all. Good for you for speaking up, Ida. Harold is clearly good at being a diplomat. He's good at uniting countries, but in the domestic world, that is not his strength. And good for her for pointing out, one, he's hurting over the loss of his mother. He's hurting over a lot more than just that. He's got a lot more mother trauma than just that. But two, his dad isn't here. He doesn't have his parents, Harold. And she offers for him to live with them. See, this is... No one thought of Ida when Loki needed a place to be, when Loki needed someone to love him and care for him. No one thought of her, or probably more likely the powers that be were like, no, he's going with noble blood, not her. But I knew that Ida would take him in. And the boys don't want it. They're both shouting, no way. But she would have shown him that mother's love that he never got, and now at this point doesn't even believe could truly exist, or rather couldn't exist for him. He thinks that she's a gold digger. He thinks that she is just money hungry, that her affection for him, his love for him, is all a game. It's all a ploy. It's all selfish ambition, because all he's seen from the people around him is selfishness, and he has not received the love that a child should, and so he naturally just assumes that love isn't mine to have. Now, I will say, when he's insulting her and everybody's defending her and she's like, oh, you kids are too sweet, I do think that you should have a little bit of firmness there, Ida. You know, like, love your compassion, but Harold's right, you're being too soft on him. Especially if you are able to take him in. He'll need a firm hand as well as a mother's love. But, you know, you're not going to take him in. It's not going to work out. Sadly. I so want that for Loki. I so want for him to have been able to be taken in by Ida, and for him, the hardness and the pain that he has experienced, for that to be able to be chipped away, and for him to realize that he can be loved. I know it's not what's happening. I just hurt for this child. Now, there's a part of me that when I first read this and he's, you know, insulting Elbaf and insulting everyone around him, and he's like, everyone's so weak and wimpy and trashy, I hate this place. I want to be free like rocks. My first instinct is, no, that's not what you need, kid. You don't need rocks as your icon, as your hero, the one that you look up to. You know, you need a family. But then my very next instinct was, I mean, Rox is really cool though. I don't actually blame you for idolizing him. He is pretty awesome. Speaking of which, Pirate Island has been occupied. The Skull Rock hasn't been skullified yet, and we get to see Rock's pirate crew. They become so legendary that other legendary figures are showing up and saying, I want to be on this crew. They're just that awesome. We have Silver Axe showing up and being like, let me on the crew. We see the eyes being, I don't know, exploded through the rocks. And then Rox shows, he's just got his arms spread out. He's like, to sum it all, there's 2 devil fruits out here that I want. One of them is most likely found on Elbaf. This is going to be I assume, this is the devil fruit that Harold apparently kept in that treasure chamber that Loki supposedly killed his father over, possibly currently has. And he says, its power will only truly be unlocked if Harold eats it. Why? Because you respect Harold so much? Is that why? Because you just think Harold is that awesome, that a legendary devil fruit that's this awesome must be held by someone as cool as my pal Harold, who doesn't know he's my pal yet, but like, I believe in my heart that he is. They need the Galila? Okay. One of my patrons pointed out, I wish I had written it down, that there was, in the prophecy, there was this lore around like there are only a few that could fix it. So like maybe they are keen on that and they're looking for the Galila for, I don't know, repairing a ancient weapon or building something. Like, this is very interesting. The Galila are important here. And that was Captain John, by the way, speaking. Big Mom is talking about, the band of frozen giants, which she doesn't know where they are. You're not doing your job very well. I know where they are, but that's also because people told me. We find out that one of the reasons Rox is so interested in Harold is because if they do find the frozen giants and they are able to awaken them and they're not dead, you know, we're talking about dreams here, then they will listen to Harold, which makes total sense. Of course. I mean, not really, of course, but it totally makes sense. I see your vision. I mean, pieces of it, but I see this part of it. And then we got Kaido, this poor war-torn child who's just like, force them to submit. You're stronger. Kill everyone if they don't listen to you. That's not what he said, but I mean, that's kind of what he said. Oh my goodness. He kicks Kaido, scolds him, says, Harold's my pal. You say that nonsense again and I'll get rid of you first, kid. Okay, so Kaido is a force. And the fact that he is turning on his own crew member. Now granted, it seems like it's not difficult for him to get powerful crew members. So it's true that, you know, he probably views any of his crew members as disposable, as replaceable. But regardless, Kaido's a force, and he's a member of his own crew, but he's like, I'm choosing Harold over you. Like, he respects Harold so much. I just find their dynamic so interesting, and his respect for Harold, even after just a short amount. I mean, he keeps coming back to Elbaf, and he continues to ask him, join my crew, help me out. Like, it's told that they have continual meetings. So I can assume that some amount of camaraderie has been built between the two, but like, he respects Harold so much, which is just such an interesting dynamic to me. And even though Rox is incredibly powerful and he does rule by force, you know, he has these big ambitions, he knows about Emu, he knows about the secret chamber, he has all this power on his side, like, he knows so much that it seems like hardly anyone else in the world knows, and Rox just casually has all this information, all this power, all these incredible crew members. Like, Rox he doesn't come out of the woodworks because we've known about him and he's been built up for so long, but he shows up and he's just like, so awesome. But also, on top of that, very, very loyal, and continually, he's not trying to force Harold onto his side. I don't know. It's crazy because, okay, we get this spread of the crew. They look amazing. I love the framing of it. I love the Rox banner, you know, not stapled, staked into the rock that's behind them. They're all standing there looking amazing. He's telling them Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. If you don't trust me on that, get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on the fateful day of our mission. But if you've got the stones for it, then stick around with me for a bit. I'll show you the peak of the world. First of all, awesome line. Second of all, I believe you. You know what I mean? Like, everything that Rox, he shows up, what was it? 3 chapters ago, shows up, like, made his appearance at the end of 3 chapters ago. So we've had 2 proper chapters with him, plus a page. And in that time, he has been so impressive, done what I didn't think was possible, specifically thinking about the flower chamber, but also the people that he's taken down, the crew that he has accumulated. Like, he has been so impressive that I'm just like, I believe you. Even though this is history and I know that he doesn't take down the Holy Land, still, he stands here and says, I'm going to take down the Holy Land. I'm going to show you the peak of the world. I believe you. Like, I just think it's true. You've convinced me. I don't know. I've had so much fun with Rox and getting to know his crew and getting to see these past, you know, Garp and Roger and Rox and seeing their dynamic, and Harold, and seeing their dynamics all together and how things are being built up. And I don't know how much longer we have in this flashback, but I hope it's a while more. I hope we get to see just a wee bit more. Anyway, that's the chapter. It was great. It's mostly like, I don't know that I did any analyzing at all. Like, it was all just reaction in this chapter, but that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. Please do chat with me more in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything that's going on. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the craziness that we have been seeing in this flashback. My goodness. Loki must have done some investigating to get all this information that he wasn't present for, but you know what? I'm not going to think too hard about it because I'm just happy. I'm just happy we're here. Please do chat with me more in the comments. I would love to continue discussing there. I'll see you again soon. Bye.